Before we begin, a few things. One, if there's anything worthwhile that you hear, I'd love for you to post and share. You can tag me down here. That's my Instagram. We're at Cool Speak. Let's tag TEA as well to make sure that we're letting them know. I will engage you in the chat. So I saw some of you already put where you're from, where you're tuning in from. If you haven't, please put it in the chat so that we know. I know we have Laredo, I think is a HEB ISD, a few, no, Waco is going to be the conference, a few other folks. So to continue to engage you in the chat, first question. If you had to guess how much time a parent spends, parent or caregiver, in meaningful conversations focused on a child, how much time would you guess per day that would be? Feel free to put it in the chat. I want to see what your guess is. So, how much time do you feel a parent slash caregiver focuses on meaningful conversation with a child per day? So I see less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Some of y'all cheated. You Googled 5 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm just kidding. You didn't. 2 minutes. So studies say that it's roughly between 3 to 7 minutes. I'll call it 3 to 10 is what I said, but 3 to 7 minutes. If you're wondering why the topic is important, that has to be one of the first things that we need to communicate to our families. That has to be something that we understand so that we know the importance of this. So I wanted to make sure that I started off with that to understand that there is an urgency for this. And some of the reasons why things have changed, not the only ones, but some of them, some of the reasons that I'd like for us to take into consideration. Technology. So you all know that we're all competing with this thing. I mean, it's hard. But because of it, we've decreased the amount of face-to-face time, face-to-face interaction. I mean, I'm not saying anybody in here has done this, okay? But we'll text our child that's in the room right next to us, or right above us, or right beneath us. We will text, DM, or message. There are parents, and I've worked with a lot of them, they'll say, I communicate often with my child. I'm like, oh, okay, how so? We text every day. It is a form of communication, but it will never beat face-to-face interaction, a hug, listening, looking at each other in the eyes, supporting one another. So technology has changed that. And to give you another example of it, there's a study that was done of 38 mothers trying to teach their 2-year-olds a series of words. Some of the mothers were teaching with no device on them, and their children were grasping the words like that. Some of the mothers were teaching while being interrupted, and I know no one in here can relate to this, but you know how you're talking and then, no, I have to answer this text, it's important. No, I have to answer this email, it's important. Those children weren't able to pick up on the words as quickly. We need that time. We need that focus. So technology has changed that. And to prove the point even further with technology and how much it's changed and impacted us, studies also show that students can focus more on tasks if their cell phone is in a different room. If it's in the same room, in their backpack, or if it's in their pants, in their pockets, somewhere near them, they're waiting to hear that vibration, to feel that vibration. You want to know how bad it's gotten? And again, I'm not saying anybody here has experienced it. You know, when you feel that vibration in your pocket because you got a text message or a phone call, except there's no cell phone in your pocket. Yes, that's an actual problem. So before we say, well, yeah, that's kids, the same study was done with adults. And if they leave their device in a different room, they focus better. They tend to do better. So again, technology is one of the reasons that things have changed. The amount of family time. Now, on average, We spend about 10 hours with our children a week. Those that work a regular 9 to 5, plus commutes, plus groceries, whatever, it's only 10 hours. And I can tell you this personally because I had to do some math as someone that travels a lot for work. Am I missing out on a lot of family time? Am I letting my family down by not being here so often? I'm actually home more than the average 9 to 5 worker, and I'm gone every other week, 2, 3 days a week sometimes. So the amount of family time has changed too. Now, when I say the amount of family time, remember how we used to have dinner at the table? In the chat, put if you used to have dinners at the table and what it was like to have dinner at the table as a family. Because nowadays, food's here, everyone comes and grabs their food, and everyone goes to their respective eating quarters, the bedroom, the living room, in front of the TV, by the iPad, in the office. And sometimes mom and dad are the ones eating there all by themselves at the kitchen table. We don't want that, but I'm just telling you because I know it's happening more and more. So if you had dinner, you know what it was like, you know what it meant. That time isn't happening anymore, and we need to create that time. Another reason why things have changed. I'm going to try to be as gentle as I can with this one, okay? But just know that I fall under this category too. Loss of authority in our households. Sometimes the parents are trying to be the best friends, the cool mom, the cool dad, and that authority is gone. And I'm going to give you 3 simple examples. Meals, music, and clothes. Meals, music, and clothes. Some of our households are making 4 different dishes per meal to make sure everybody eats. It's not because of a food allergy. It's just because I don't like that. That's meals, okay? Music. I'm telling you because I have little ones. I don't even get to listen to the music I like anymore, people. I got to sing all these little kid songs all the time. And if it weren't for my daughter's dancing, I don't know if I could put up with it anymore. And there's only so many times I can hear the same song. I know La Vaca Lola inside out because my daughter sings it all the time, every day. And if you change the music, our children get upset. And instead of saying, you know what, we're going to listen to this for a while. Okay, let me put your song on so you're not upset. Just making the comparison. When I was a little kid, I didn't get to pick what music was played in the car. I was lucky I was given a ride in the car. I wasn't going to pick the music. So a loss of authority and then no consequences. They're doing something wrong. They don't sit down to talk to you, and there's no consequence to it. So when I say loss of authority, I'm not saying all households, I'm not pointing at all parents, but I think some of the examples that I'm giving you are examples that we see often with a lot of our families, and it's becoming a problem. And then lastly, everyone is busy. I'm going to give you an example that I heard today. Literally heard it today on a podcast. There's a comedian that I'm a big fan of. His name is Tom Segura. Don't watch his Netflix show because you're going to judge me and think I'm a horrible person. Whole other story. He has 2 boys, one's 6 and one's 9, I believe. He was taking them to jiu-jitsu. The 6-year-old came up to him and said, Dad, I don't think I want to do this anymore. And the dad said, well, why? What's the deal? Man, my schedule, it's just too hectic. This is the 6-year-old. He's like, your schedule? Why is it hectic? Man, I got piano, I got Spanish class, I got school, jiu-jitsu, it's too much. So the dad said, okay, well, go ahead and tell the instructor that. And he did. And the instructor's like, well, you know, sometimes you need to focus on things that are important in life. So I expect to see you here at the next class. He's like, yeah, no, my schedule didn't change. I won't be back. Didn't go back. The kid, again, decided what was going to happen. Loss of authority. Everyone is busy, including the 6-year-old because of his schedule. These are just a few of the reasons things have changed. These are just a few of the reasons why we are struggling at home with our children. Our children shouldn't be the ones deciding if they do or don't go to something that we signed them up for. See it through. If you didn't like it, you don't play the next season. That's what we should be doing. That's what we had to do. And again, we turned out okay. I'm not saying some of us don't need some counseling. Don't look at me that way, but we turned out okay. So these are just a few of the reasons of why things have changed. Now, in the chat, here's what I want to know. Why do you want to improve communication at home? And I don't even need to know how good or bad communication at home is with your child, with your significant other, with your friends, with your mom, with your dad. Why is it that you feel that our parents or yourself, in particular, I'm looking at you, want to improve communication at home? I want you to put it in the chat to get an idea. If you're wondering why I'm asking this question, it's rather simple. When there's a reason, we tend to focus a little bit more and put a little bit of more effort in. And I want us to have a reason. Why is it that you want to improve communication at home? For the kids' safety, very good. In some cases, to know what your children are up to, what they're doing. We're informed by friends and the school more so than we are by our own children, what's happening in their lives. So again, I want you to put in the chat, why do you want to improve communication at home? Because things aren't the same as they were, and I can't say I know what is going on. And unfortunately, most of us can't. Most of our parents can't. And I need us to use this question with our parents because they need to have a reason. And when there isn't a reason, there is no urgency to fix such a thing. Why am I worried about communication? We're fine. Are you, though? Is your child comfortable talking to you? Are you, as a parent, comfortable talking to your child? Do you just lecture your child? Or do you know how to listen to your child? These are things that we're going to get into, but I wanted to make sure that we covered this because it's something that we need to know in order to work on improving our communication, okay? So I'm going to have 5 simple tips that I want to share with you that can help us improve communication at home with our children, and not even just our children, our significant others. So the first one is to stop lecturing. Now, this one's a little tough because for a lot of us, that's how we were taught. You sit down, you have to be quiet, and you just listen. You're just lectured. But that's also why some of those individuals still struggle in social settings, don't like speaking up, go with the flow, and are okay with anything because they were never allowed to talk. If we don't stop lecturing, I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as we start lecturing, here's what our children think. Here we go. And they'll give you like 20 seconds and they're gone. They're tuned out. They're not even paying attention anymore because no one likes to be lectured. I'll give you some random examples. What's the last workshop you went to where you loved being lectured for a while? Where's the last conversation you had with your significant other where you're like, can you please lecture me for the next 20 minutes about how I can improve or what I need to do better? What's up? You can pick. Lecturing doesn't work. And in some cases, we're repeating the cycle. Parenting is difficult. And the best schooling that we have is our parents because we learn from them. Watch, put it in the chat. Have any of you ever said this to yourself? Oh my goodness, I've just become my mom. Oh my gosh, I sound just like my dad. Oh, I just reacted like my mom. I just behaved like my dad. I just got angry like my mom. For a lot of us, the answer is yes. Why? Because that's our schooling. So for those of you that had great relationships with your parents, were able to talk to your parents, let's build upon that. For those of you that didn't, because, some of us are part of that group, it doesn't mean that you can't improve. So I want you to stop lecturing. Second, be more supportive. Stop being judgmental. And again, I'm not saying that this is everyone, but these are common things that I hear from students and parents. They'll tell me, like, dude, I'm not going to tell my parents. I already know what's going to happen. Tell me, enlighten me. What's going to happen? Man, I'm going to tell my dad this, and he's going to get all upset and say, is this why I work so hard? All you need to do is go to school. He says, they'll tell me. They tell me the same thing over and over again without ever hearing me out. So when I say be more supportive, sometimes it means that you need to listen. Sometimes it means that you need to make sure that you understand the problem. Sometimes it means you don't assume the worst. They come home with 5 grades, one of them's bad. What's the first thing that we start talking about? What happened here? Obviously, you can do the work. You got good grades over here. Like, what's the deal? What's going on? That's not being supportive. That's kind of just highlighting the one thing that we're not okay with. And sure, we want them to do great in all the classes, but we tend to focus on the negative right away. So instead of pointing the finger, let's ask ourselves how I can be more supportive. And here's why it's important that we do this. This is one of the main reasons they don't want to talk to us. We're not supportive. We're just judging. We're just pointing the finger. We're just lecturing them. We're just telling them what they're doing wrong. If you practice active listening, my next point, I wish I could tell you I can guarantee you, but I want to guarantee you communication will improve. You want to know why? Our children aren't used to talking and not being interrupted. Our children aren't used to talking and sharing and not being judged. Our children sometimes feel like, I don't want to say anything because you're going to think something bad of me, or I don't want to say anything because then you're going to start lecturing me. And one of the ways that we can practice active listening is what I call the pen technique. Okay. Some of you have seen this before, and if you haven't, it's all good. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do. Sit down with your child and give your child the pen. After you give your child the pen, say, I want you to talk to me about anything you want for the next minute. I'm going to practice my listening skills. Your child's going to freak out right away. Like, what? You have listening skills? Because I've not seen them put into practice anytime recently. Yes. So you give the child the pen. Here you go. The child talks for a minute. Once they're done, they give you the pen. You're not allowed to say how to fix it, what went wrong, why they're struggling, how it's their fault. Your only job is to recap what you just heard. So, for example, if they say, you know what, I had this problem in the basketball court the other day with this player, you don't get to say, well, what have I been telling you what you need to do? No. The first thing that you need to do is recap, to check for comprehension, and to start teaching yourself to be quiet, to focus, and just listen to what they're saying. It's very challenging. I don't suggest you start this with your partner. Try it with the child first and then move on to the partner. That's the graduate level, okay? After you recap, then you give the pen back to the child and they get to say, yes, that's correct. But they also get to say if they want your input or not. And that's the tough part. Because immediately, like, well, you want me to tell you how to fix it? You want me to tell you how you can stop it? No. I just wanted to share. I just wanted you to tell me what you thought to get your input. So practice active listening. And then practice what you preach. You cannot be yelling at your child. You can never, hey, this is why we never talk it, and then you're on your phone too. You have to be the example. You have to be able to show them what you want them to do. You have to be able to show them via your actions, the behavior, the listening, the communication. 55% of what we say is body language. 38% is tonality. If you practice what you preach, whenever they say something to you and you get an attitude and then they get the same attitude, don't wonder where it came from or why they have an attitude. It's us. Then the last one that I wanted to give you, the last tip, is dedicate time to converse. We have to set time aside to talk. 3 to 7 minutes a day isn't going to cut it. It just isn't. And any parent or any child that says, I don't have the time, let me show you how you have some time. The average screen time for a teen right now is 9 hours, and that's on the low end. And before parents get all excited, the average screen time for adults, anywhere between 25 to 65, average time is about 6 hours. We have the time, but we need to dedicate time to make it happen. So here are 3 simple steps that I'm going to ask you to take to start improving communication at home, okay? 1, and this is a tough one. Ask how you can improve, and it's a great time to practice the pen technique. Hey, how can I improve my communication with you? Here's the pen. I'm not allowed to talk as long as you have the pen. Here you go. Practicing the pen techniques, number 2. And the third one, schedule some time to converse, to dialogue, but more importantly, to listen. You have to start this at a younger age so that it can continue as they're older. The older they get, the more difficult it's going to be. And for some of us in here, and you don't need to blow your cover, I'm one of them. I didn't get to have real deep, meaningful dialogues with my mom until I was like in my 30s. But it was out of respect, out of fear, out of not wanting to let her down, a lot of factors. I'm not saying it's not okay. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm sorry. But we need to start making this a practice. The next time you're at dinner and you decide to have a dinner together, I'm going to teach you something. Everybody pile up your phones on the middle of the dinner table. Okay. First one to give in and have to grab their phones, you're the one in charge of cleaning the table and washing the dishes. We have to start changing the way we interact and dialogue in order for our communication to improve. Okay. Now I'm going to leave 2 minutes, I'm hoping here. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, if you disagree with a lot of the things that I said, my name is Carlos Ojeda Jr. If you agreed, my name's Ernesto Mejia. I appreciate it. No, I want to get your feedback, and I want to know if you have any questions, and I want to know if there's anything here that you feel you can put into practice, because I try to give you simple tips that you could use immediately. I don't want to give you all of this other research and what data says, and there's nothing for you to take away to try to practice. A simple pen could change the way we converse at home, okay? Any questions, comments, concerns? And if not, in the meantime, friendly reminder, mark your calendars now. Feel free to talk into your phone. June 25th, Understanding Family Dynamics, same bat channel, same bat time. We will be here with you, and I want more folks to be here. If you can in the chat, if you don't have any questions, let us know what you thought about tonight's session. Was it beneficial? Is it useful? Do you like this format? Do I talk too much? Is my head too shiny? Like, I don't know, anything that you need to let us know. I mean, that's kind of going to be inevitable, but anything you need to let us know, please do so, because we want to give you something that's beneficial, something that's useful, because I'm going to tell you right now, if we can improve communication at home, guess what the next step is? It might start improving at school too, which will help us all ensure that our students are doing well. Okay.
Ernesto, this is Beverly White. I think that these tips are especially important just as adults, whether you're a parent or like I'm a grandmother, great grandmother, or the staff we work with. I think what we forget is active listening because we are so tied to these stupid cell phones.
That's true.
I mean, I grew up without them. So it's like, and they're more of a problem than they are a promise.
Yeah, absolutely. No, thank you, Beverly. And I do love that you are, and it's not just because of the title, a great, and you can put a comma, grandma, because you are great. And just the fact that you understand that and you heard that, if you try to practice a little bit more, it's going to just reap benefits for everybody. So thank you for sharing, Beverly. Anybody else? Comments, concerns, issues? You can unmute right now. You're safe. let me read what Matthew said over here. Let parents know that these events can be experienced while driving, cooking dinner, and especially together with our families. Yes, thank you, Matthew. I've been doing a lot of virtuals since COVID, believe it or not. And I actually encourage our families to watch while driving, at work, at a game. Now, I don't want you on the chat while you're driving, okay? You can just listen and pay attention. But this isn't something where you have to make sure that you have your camera and you have to make sure that you're in the chat. We want to give you some tools and some resources that are going to help our families, are going to help you improve your homes, your relationships at home, your communication, and as much as we can. Okay. So thank you very much. And thank you, Beverly. Beverly, this one's for you, girl. This one's for you. Appreciate you.